All right. So I'm just going to share screen real quick. So our first one is our AI enrichment spreadsheets. We did just send those out. They're also located in our Schoology page. So let me show you where those are. In our One Burgess, we have our Wednesday advisory. If you click on that, what I've recently added is the attendance for tomorrow. So you have your QR code and link. Then you have your teacher and student assignments, which are identical to what we just sent out to you. And then the lessons for tomorrow. And because tomorrow we are officially starting, let me go through this first. So for our enrichment, for our students who are freshmen and sophomores, they will have a career profiler test. And thank you to Miss Jackie for putting together some of these enrichment lessons. I know you gave us a good pool to choose from. And then juniors and seniors have their own setup, either through grade 11 or grade 12. And there's information there for you to share with your students if that's what you have. We're going to label these the same way each time because with our accelerated instruction, we have two tiers. We have our retesters and we have our grade 9ers. So our grade 9ers are only dealing with 4 subjects, so they'll be in here. If you have those particular subjects, this is what you'll be administering tomorrow. And then for our retesters, we have it similarly set up. However, we have our added English 1 and English 2, so we have 5 in here. Right now, English 1 and English 2 have not been uploaded because those are in process, but everything else is already there. If you go through, you can see what it is, what the lessons are and what the expectation is. Tomorrow afternoon, you're also going to receive a feedback form so that you can give us some feedback on how it went, since this is actually our first time where we're instructing and not just doing an advisory lesson. That's where you'll also let us know what your thoughts are about the lessons that have been created so that we can then go into PLC, and as our teams, we can either refine them or change what needs to be changed. All right, student classrooms. So students are going to, in the spreadsheets that we sent out along the bottom, you have the teachers and who are doing what. These exact same pieces of information minus the student ID numbers are going to be placed on Ms. Godinez's windows. So that will be a location that we tell students to check as to where they're going to go. The majority of them stayed in their locations. But as you all were perusing them, some of you all either may have had kids and you don't now, or you didn't have kids last time, but now you do. So please make sure that you're checking all of them and scroll across, because each one is set up with a lot of teachers' names in there. So make sure that you're scrolling across. But again, we're going to encourage our students to go to Ms. Godinez's room just outside. So they don't have to go inside of her classroom, but since her windows face the quad, that's the best place for us to put these so that students are aware of where they need to go. We already did get one email with a change of room number, so please check on us. This is something that we did over the weekend. If the room numbers are incorrect, let us know so we can change those immediately so that the students can go to the correct classroom. HB 4545 tutoring log and data entry. One of the reasons why we got you these specific student rosters is so that you guys would be aware of who's supposed to be in your classroom and correlate and make sure that you either have the right amount of students, or if a student isn't supposed to be in your classroom, that you make them leave. So there's 2 things. One, if you have a student in your classroom who should not be there, please send them to room A200. We're going to be rounding up students tomorrow who are not going to their locations in time, and we will be processing and helping them find their way. But if you have one, please send them down to A200 immediately so that we can get them taken care of. The next one, let's see. Oh, the data entry. So then we know that we have to go into CCRP. Rather than you guys doing that immediately, what we would like to do is discuss in PLC on Thursday and Friday how we can process those. I know that there's a lot of them that we will be doing as CCTs, but we'll discuss within each department how we handle the HB 4545 tutoring log. So do not feel obligated to log those in tomorrow. However, for Thursday, Friday PLC, please bring that information with you so that we can discuss how we're going to log those and how we're going to do that operation, because that is an additional feat in and of itself, is that logging of hours in CCRP. Again, as I said earlier, through the chat, we're going to create the FAQ for accelerated learning. And then for HIT, we are working on that to have rosters for you all so that you know specifically who should be coming in the morning and who should be coming in the afternoon. So that will come more than likely next week. I know that we are already in process with HIT. Please continue as usual. But as we get you your rosters and we refine how we're getting kids hours and how the HIT is working with regards to times and who should be there, we'll have a more refined way of doing it post intersession. So that having been said, that's it, guys. It's a quick and easy way for us to figure out what tomorrow looks like. I know I say that in jest because I know tomorrow we still have to run it. But ultimately, we will do this tomorrow as our next trial run with actual lessons being done. You'll receive your a feedback form for us to help us clean it up even more and maybe look at things that we may have overlooked. And then we will move on from there.
Angel, I forgot to make my pretty poster. I'm putting it in the chat. Hang on.
Okay.
Etc. Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat. HIT tutoring hours, if you're a HIT tutor, the teacher hours are 7:30 to 8:30 if you're morning, 4:30 to 5:30 if you're the afternoon. Please remember, everybody is on duty till 4:30 p.m. So that 4 to 4:30 time slot is for your current course load, homework help, current course load tutoring, whatever the case may be. If you're doing HIT tutoring in the afternoon, it's 4:30 to 5:30. Now the scholars are different. Scholars in the AM will report from 7:45 to 8:30. We need to give them time to eat breakfast. And Maggie shuts it down right at 8:45. And then scholars in the PM will be from 4:30 to 5:15. That gives the HIT tutors time to log and coordinate everything they need to do and plan their lessons for the next day. And that we are going, per what we were told we could do, the students will be credited for an hour of tutoring. We're pretending they're hourly employees and we're bumping it up to the next hour. Question about HIT tutoring times. I put it in the chat. There's an outline for teachers and an outline for scholars.
So do we log in at 7:30 or 7:45 on Teams?
So you're gonna swipe from 7:30 to 8:30 for your hour of tutoring. Your
Okay.
kids will show up at 7:45 and you keep them until 8:30.
Oh, okay.
Part of, I know 7:30 is late. Olvera said, no, Magdalena, you can't call at 7:30 in the morning. Well, you know what? If your kid's supposed to be in my classroom, yes, you can. And part of your responsibility for that HIT tutoring is to make sure those 15 kids are showing up. If you don't have access to demos, admin can help you, Noemi can help you, any of the clerks can help you with demo information. You need to get those scholars here. So outreach is part of that 15-minute prep time that you get to track them down and make sure they're coming. And again, in the afternoon, 4:30 to 5:30 is what you log. The kids leave at 5:15, but that gives you a 15-minute cushion to prepare your lessons for the next HIT session, to review what they did, to log their hours, whatever you need to do.
And then the attendance sheet for the kids too. They have to sign in once they come to the class, right?
That is correct.
And then if there's no student or if any student doesn't show up, what do we do? Do we just write no show or?
If they're not showing up, you're not going to get paid. So you need to take that cushion time and start contacting parents and make sure they get here.
Okay.
Okay, and then if you know what, because I will tell you from the time we made this list till now, new students have enrolled and others have dropped. If someone has dropped from your class, for example, they withdrew and went to another campus, they're going to double check the rosters, but reach out and say, I have space for 3 more kids, send them to me.
Okay.
One question for those of us who are in a 3-to-1 ratio, because that's what the parents selected. If I only have 2 of those kids showing up, I'm still submitting that roster. Will do the track down of the other student. But I want, if that could be communicated, because Debbie, whoever's getting the roster is going to say, you don't have enough students here.
So those rosters, CTCs, if you will just make sure, for example, if Gonzalez is a 3-to-1 room, that it is labeled a 3-to-1 classroom per HB 4545. We have to honor that. So it just needs to be across the top of the roster.
Thank you.
I have a question again. So if I come to class at 7:30 and then I log in and then I wait and then no one comes in, so do I have to make a correction and then like take it off? Or
Mr. I have every confidence you're gonna get kids for your tutoring. I have every confidence. If you need help with some of that outreach, to begin with, as they get down the routine, like I had a kid show up for AM tutoring the other day who was supposed to go to PM tutoring. They're still confused. We're gonna be flexible at the beginning until you can track them down and show them your room and say, I will see you every Tuesday morning in my room, or whatever the case may be.
right?
So there's a little flexibility in the mini, you know, it isn't, if 10 of them show up, Mr. Deshi, you're good to go. If 0 of them show up, we have a problem and we need some outreach and we need to figure it out.
Okay.
And again, that's part of that $50 an hour you're getting. We need to document all this so that the parent can come back and say, well, you didn't tell me, you didn't know. No, ma'am, I called you 5 times on 5 different dates and you said he wouldn't get out of bed, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
All right, anything else, guys?
And then I don't know if this has been answered already. So my question is, do we also do CCRP for both the HIT and then the AL on Wednesdays?
They're gonna go over that with you in PLC, Mr. Deshi, because there's been some adjustments to how it's gonna get entered into CCRP.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Go over that with you.
All right.
For now, just put it on paper and then we'll get it transferred.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, everybody. I know that as you'll marinate in this, or as you check again, some other questions might arise. Please email us with your questions so that we can add those to the FAQ. And we appreciate y'all's efforts in this. And this is our first one being where we actually teach our content. So we'll be great tomorrow, no worries. And again, any questions that you all have or any issues where a student is not where they need to be, please send them to A200 ASAP. If you happen to have my cell phone, text me real quick. That way we can be helping you guys out and troubleshooting as it happens. And I'm going to put my number in the chat. No. The Zoom log will be our sign-in for this, y'all. And then if you have never texted me before, just text me your name so that I know who it is and I don't do to you what I do to the telemarketers, which is ignore. All right, everybody, and it is recorded, or it has been recorded, so this will be uploaded to our Schoology page in case you need to refer to it later. But again, you do have the emails with those spreadsheets. Please check to see who your students are and to check to see that your room number is correct. Like I said, we did have to correct one earlier. So please let us know so we can change that immediately. And then I would just yield to admin if there's any final messages, because that would be it from our end.
I think we're good.
All right, everybody, we appreciate your time. again, let us know what questions you have. Otherwise, have a great afternoon and we will see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning. Emma Spock, you're the one who always makes me laugh. Thank you, sir.
I thought better of putting that into the chat, so I decided to send it to you personally.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and don't forget, good luck, coaches. They're taking on Bowie tonight.
These are for the enrichment classes. Is there something specific we're supposed to do with them?
Yes, ma'am. Do you have juniors or seniors? I believe you have juniors or seniors, correct?
Juniors, yes.
So under our September 22nd, under juniors and seniors enrichment, there's a grade 11 folder, and everything that you'll need to use for your students tomorrow is in that folder.
Right.
Caesar, just wanted to mention that for the Algebra 1, you know how we're using Khan Academy? 3 of the teachers for Algebra 1 currently have Khan Academy, but if for some reason someone's having difficulty with that process, even though it's outlined there, I guess they can give me a call. You know, if they can't reach you, I know you can walk them through it, but feel free to direct somebody to me, because that might be the only little stumble I see, is that they may have, you know, I can't see the assignment or something like that. So
Gotcha. Thank you for that heads up. And yes, of course, we'll help out with that troubleshooting as well.
okay.
All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.